Hello, my name is Verla Schachter.
Hello, my name is Label.
This is Label, and we are going to be making vegetable soup and arrayas today. And arrayas is a pita that is stuffed with meat, that's right. Okay, so we're going to first start off by going through our ingredients that we've got today and what you'll need. So we've got here for our soup a half a cup of red lentils. Now, what did I do with this, Label, before?
So you...
What we did was we washed this under running water, and we washed the lentils until the water ran clear, and we've got them in a colander just sitting here ready to go into our pot. What we're actually going to do with that is we're going to put that into our pot first. If that cooks and it comes to the boil and softens by itself, it's going to cook a lot quicker, and we're going to make sure that all of the lentils are cooked before we add in our vegetables. So we're going to start by doing that, and then we'll go through the rest of the ingredients. So Label, do you want to lean over? Can you lean over here? I'll bring the pot closer, and we will all of those lentils. Wonderful. Okay, now what we're going to do, I'm just going to fill this up with some water over here, just to cover the lentils. Can you see? Just to cover the lentils in the bottom of the pot. There's about an inch worth of water, and we're going to put it on the flame. We're going to turn that on to medium heat, and we're going to let that come to the boil and to soften. And we can put this bowl away. We're going to use that bowl for the scraps of our vegetables. So now what we're going to do is we're going to prepare all the vegetables that are going to go into our soup. So we've got here half of a, what is that? Pumpkin. And we've got a very big
potato.
What kind of potato is it?
Sweet potato.
Sweet potato. And we've got how many regular potatoes, Label?
1, 2, 3.
3 potatoes. And let's see if you can count.
4.
You are 4. And how many carrots are there?
1, 2, 3, 4.
4 carrots. And we've got 2 sticks of celery as well. Now, when you're dealing with celery, lately in Melbourne, there's been a lot of infestation in celery. So we really want to get rid of the green that goes at the top of the celery. And we're going to prepare all of our vegetables. Oh, I forgot one of our vegetables. What's that?
Onion.
An onion. How many onions? Well, we've got 1 for the meat and 1 for the soup. So how many onions do we need for the soup?
2.
That one's for the meat. This one's for the soup. How many do we need for the soup?
1.
Just 1. That's perfect. So what we're going to do is we're going to carefully... when I hold a vegetable, I'm very careful not to get my fingers anywhere near the blade. So I hold them up nice and straight so that even if the knife comes near me, it's not going to cut off my fingertips. If I held my hand out like this, I would really go straight into my fingers, wouldn't I? But if I held my hand up, I'm going to balance the vegetable, and I'm going to cut away the skin, and we're going to peel away the skin. Now, I actually find that it's easy if I make a bridge with my hands like this, and I cut the onion in half. It's a much easier way to peel the onion. So I've cut off the bottom, cut it in half, and then I can peel my onion. And I've just got a little bit of bits here that I want to peel away as well. Is that good? Okay. And I'm going to do the same on this half. I'm just going to peel away this top layer. And then I've got here
1 cup of oil. Maybe we're going to let's have some oil.
Okay. So what I've got here is I've got my onion ready to go. And we're going to do each of the vegetables. We're going to peel them and chop them and get them ready so that when our soup is ready, our lentils are ready in the soup. We're going to put them in with this rest of the soup, okay? Okay, so we've got here our onions. Now I have washed and checked these stalks of celery, but anyway, we're going to cut away these bits from the bottom that are a bit dirtier because they grow in the ground. And we're also going to cut away the leaves from the top because we don't need the leaves in our soup. And we want to make sure that there are no bugs hiding in the celery as well. So now we've got our nice clean stalks of celery. What do you reckon? Nice and clean. Okay. We're going to start by chopping those up. And we're going to chop up our onion just into a rough dice. So we can hold our onion like a bridge. And we're going to cut in the middle between our fingers so that we don't go anywhere near our hands with the knife again. And we're going to hold our hands up like this so that again our fingertips are nowhere near where the knife would go. And we're going to just chop the onion roughly. Okay, and we're going to do the other side as well. We're going to push that to the side. And now we're just going to take our stalks of celery. We're going to chop them in half so that they're not too wide. And we're going to chop them up. Again, keeping our hands nice and far away from the blade, but still with control. And if you notice here, my pointing finger is actually on the top of the blade. And that gives me a lot of control as well. And it makes sure that my fingers are not going anywhere near the underside of the blade. Okay. Now with this soup, it's actually great. We don't have to add in all the vegetables in different layers. We're just going to pop them into this bowl here that we've got prepared. And we're going to be able to pour them afterwards all into our pot. Okay. So now we're going to get the rest of the vegetables ready. Which vegetables should we start with next, Label?
Pumpkin.
The pumpkin. I tell you what, I'm going to get you to do a really important job here. Can you see all of those seeds inside?
Yeah.
The best and the safest way to get rid of those seeds is with a spoon. I'm going to help you out. And we're going to get rid of some of those seeds.
Can I do it with my little spoon?
You want to do it with a little spoon? You can try. Okay, and you keep going with that. Good job. Okay, so the easiest way to get rid of the seeds from pumpkin is actually with a spoon because the side of the spoon is round like the inside of the hole of that pumpkin. Okay, so now that we've gotten rid of the seeds from the inside, we're going to peel this pumpkin. And we always want to peel away from our body. And we can just use a regular vegetable peeler to get rid of the skin.
And the pumpkin is actually yellow, but the skin is brown. It's like brown.
It is. That's right.
And the inside of the pumpkin is orange. And every single vegetable or fruit has to have a skin.
That's right, because the skin protects it from the weather outside, doesn't it? Okay, we're almost finished here. Now there's a little trick to making sure that your vegetables are easier to peel and to chop. And that is actually to make sure that they're out of the fridge for a little bit, that they've come to room temperature before you chop it. And when they're at room temperature, they're much easier to chop. And again, we're just going to do the same thing. I'm going to make sure this hand is quite far away, and I'm going to cut this into strips. Now this is really, cutting a pumpkin is really a job for an adult, isn't it? Because a pumpkin can be quite hard. And when the vegetable is hard, we have to have a lot of control and a lot of power over that knife. So again, my hands are like a bridge in this case, and I'm just popping the knife through. And what I end up with is some nice slices of pumpkin here that I'm then going to cut into sticks again. And again, I put my hands like a bridge over the vegetable, like this, to give me good grip and good control.
Yes, and also, if you want.
And then I have good sticks of vegetables, don't I?
Yes, and then you could also, if you want, you could just cut it up also into small, teeny pieces.
into small teeny pieces. That's what I'm doing now. So now I'm cutting them into squares, just a couple of centimeters by a couple of centimeters. If you like, at the end of making the soup, you can actually blend the soup. So it doesn't really matter what, oh, careful not to go near the knife. It doesn't really matter
Also,
what the size of the squares
cut
is.
it up and cut it up and cut it up so much time, and then you can put it in your soup.
That's right. You can cut it up really small if you wanted to, but it's actually not necessary.
Yeah, because then you can hold it. You can't see it nearly.
So in our family, some of the children like their soup to be chunky and some of the children like their soup to be smooth. So what we do is we make the soup in nice small pieces like this that will cook evenly, and then we leave it chunky for some and we blend up some for the others. So
Yeah.
we're going to now put all of this pumpkin into our big bowl that we've got. Okay, label. Can you put that piece of pumpkin in, please? And can you help me get all that pumpkin into the bowl? Good job, thank you. Okay, and now we're going to do the same thing with our carrots. Okay, we're going to peel the carrots.
Yes. You first peel the carrots because it's going to be more easier to cut it.
That's right, it's much easier to peel before we chop than to peel after we chop. And we're just going to get rid of those.
Yeah, and
ends.
carrots are very strong to cut.
They are.
So that's why you have to peel first.
That's right, and we peel away from our body to make sure that the knife doesn't go anywhere near our body, right?
Yeah, and then sharp knives. You can use a blender,
That's right.
or you could just peel to get the skin off.
You know all about keeping safe in the kitchen, don't you, Label?
Yes, and also you're not allowed to mix milk and meat together.
That's right. What side of the kitchen are we on now? The milkshake side or the fleishik side?
Fleishik.
That's
But you're
right.
not allowed to mix milkshake and fleishik together because that's one of the rules that Hashem said.
That's right. That is very true. Thank you, Label, for teaching everybody. And how many carrots are we doing?
4.
4 carrots. That's right. How many carrots have I already chopped? Have I already peeled?
2. Now you're up to your 3 now.
That's right. And what number is this?
4.
That's right. We're almost ready to chop up our carrots, aren't we?
Hmm?
And again, we're just peeling away
And
from...
you're not allowed
body.
to bow down to something else. And also you're not allowed to do things that Hashem does not say.
That's right. Okay, so now we're going to cut up our carrots. And again, my hands are just staying really far away from where the knife is. And we're just doing slices. So just nice thin slices. I don't know if you can see that. You want to hold one up, Label? Good job, thank you.
These slices, they're very teeny for you, but we could see it's big.
That's right. And again, even when I get down to the end, I make sure that I hold my fingers away from the blade.
Yeah, and also, if you want, you could cut your carrot into teeny pieces, like my made, like the top of my made.
That's small. Wow, that would be really small. And for the last bit here that I want to chop in half, I make my hand into a bridge and I can just cut right through in between. And we're going to now pop those into our big bowl as well. Okay, let's get those in. Perfect. We have 2, one little bit left. You are good at all those little details, aren't you, Label? Okay, we have 2 more vegetables left. What's this one?
Big sweet potato.
Is that your favorite vegetable?
Yes,
Yes.
but also you could have it cooked. You could eat it cooked because it will be a pinkish, purplish color.
Really, that's what we're going to do, isn't it? We're going to cook it in our soup pot. Okay. Should we, after we've peeled
And
this,
meat.
well, the meat is going to come in a separate dish. After we've peeled this sweet potato, we are going to have a look and see what our lentils are doing over there, if they've come to the boil yet. Okay. And there's just a little bit here that we need to cut out of our sweet potato with a knife. So we'll do that. And really, this sort of job is a job for an adult. We want to make sure we don't have any of the dirty bits inside our sweet potato. Okay. And before we use these vegetables, we'll give them a quick rinse as well. All right, so we're just going to cut up now our sweet potato into slices.
I'll show you.
Okay, but we're not quite done with that yet.
It's the big one. It's very sliced and very big.
It is, isn't it? And then each of these...
More on the video.
It does look small on the video. And then each of these slices we're going to cut into quarters. So I'm just going to make my hands into a bridge, and I can just do 2 slices at a time, and then we'll pop that into the bowl as well. Okay, so I'll just take these 2 slices. Yeah, I might even just leave them on the board, and you can pop them into the bowl in a moment. Okay?
So we'll just put them into corners. And if you want, you could just put it in like this and pop them into the bowl.
That's right. And these sweet potatoes, when they're cooking, they break up into little bits.
If you want. Could do this recipe if you want. And also, if you want.
Let's pop them all into the bowl now, okay? Let's do that together. Fantastic. And we've got one kind of vegetable left. I can hear the lentils over here. They've come to the boil. They've actually changed colour, and they've almost disintegrated.
Let's see the change color.
So let's have a look and see if we can show everybody here what we've got.
White.
So we've got here, there is a bit of white frothy stuff on top, but that's okay because we have rinsed off our lentils. What colour are these now, Label?
White.
They're sort of like a whitey yellow, aren't they? But those are the red lentils. I don't know if you can see them properly. So they've started to disintegrate, and we're going to just let those boil for a couple more minutes while we finish preparing our vegetables.
Yes.
Okay. We're going to peel these potatoes. All right. That is the end of our potato peeling. So we can put that bowl to the side because that had all of the little vegetable trimmings and bits in it. And now I'm going to cut up these potatoes. And again, I'm making my hands into a bridge, cutting it in half, and then when I pop it down on my bench, each of my potato bits are on a flat surface. So that's much safer when I cut up my vegetables. And I'll just do that with all 3 of my potatoes. Again, I'm just going to cut those halves into half to make them into quarters. And then I'm going to just roughly chop them up.
Can't see it really, but
because it's nice and small, isn't it?
Yeah.
We want the potato to cook, and we want all the vegetables to cook evenly. And we're going to pop this into our tub. So we've got now here all of these vegetables all nicely cut, and we're going to give that a bit of a rinse. So I'm just going to do that over here. So now here we've got our vegetables, and I'm just going to pop them into our pots. So this is a job that you need to just be careful with because you're dealing again with a hot pot. So I've got my vegetables that I've rinsed off, and they're all just going off into that pot. So we've popped all of our vegetables into the pot, and now we need to add in water.
Yeah.
We're going to add in water till the vegetables are almost covered, and I'll count how many cups of water we put in. So we'll put in 2 cups at a time, just until the water almost covers the vegetables. Yes.
Until it comes to the boil also again. Yeah?
Okay, so we put 6 cups of water into our pot, and our pot is on a medium heat. We're going to put the lid onto the pot, but before we do that, we're going to add some salt into our soup as well. So we're going to put in a tablespoon of salt,
Yes.
but just a flat tablespoon here. Would you like to help me put that in? Come, you can bring your stool over to the stove. Don't stand too close. You want to help me put that in? Good job, thank you very much. And wait there, we're also going to put in a tablespoon of no MSG vegetable stock powder. You can leave that out if you don't like the flavour. Okay, can you help me put that one in? Good job, thank you very much. Okay, we're going to give that a quick stir. just to make sure that that salt and that vegetable soup powder are all mixed in. And you can put in a little bit of pepper. Shake. We don't like our soup too peppery in this house. And I'm going to put the lid on. And that soup is going to come to the boil. So now we're going to just tidy up a little bit from working with our soup. So we're going to put away our lentils. We're going to put away our vegetable stock powder. And we're going to clear off our bench space here to get ourselves ready for the arraya. So now I've turned my oven on to 200 degrees. So my oven is getting nice and warm. We are, but we're not going to do that yet. We're going to leave that to the side for just now.
And then we're going to brush.
Should we show everybody how we prepared our baking pan?
Yes.
Okay. So what we've got here is we've got a baking sheet. So this is a little tray that you would maybe bake your cookies on. And it's just got a small lid. So it just lifts up a little bit so that any juices that fall off will be caught in here and won't make a mess in your oven. We've covered that in silver foil to make sure that it is an easier job to clean up. And then we put a wrap on top. Now that wrap makes sure that all of the air is allowed to go around the arrayas when it's baking in the oven and that it won't get all soggy. So now what we're going to do is we're going to mix together our mixture for the arrayas. Okay. So we need to peel this. What is this? An onion. And do you remember how we peeled it before? What do? We cut off the bottom and the top and we slice it in half. And then what do? We peel off the skin. We're just going to give it a chop into about 6 pieces because what we're going to do is we're going to put that into the food processor to really to blend it up into smaller pieces. So I've got my onion here that I've chopped up and I pop it into my food processor, which is a bit out of the screen here at the moment, but I'll show you in a moment what we're doing. Let's take that off. And it's got the knife attachment inside. So is that something that's safe or dangerous for children? Dangerous for children. So this part of the job has to be done with an adult. You could, if you don't mind chunkier vegetables inside your arrays, you can do it. You could do a really fine dice with this, but if you want the onion to be blended up into smaller bits, then you can use your food processor. And you can also get smaller food processors that attach to like handheld blenders that might be a bit easier for children to use, still with an adult. So we've got our onion in here, and we've also got here our parsley. Now this parsley has been washed and checked, and we've got our parsley leaves, and we want to get about 1/2 cup's worth. So this is really just, we're going to pop that into here to measure it, and we really want to pack that in and make sure that we have a really good 1/2 cup's worth because that's what gives us the freshness. So you can see that we pack all of that into our 1/2 cup measuring cup, and that's how much we want to use. And we're going to pop that into our food processor. Okay, we're going to put the lid on the food processor. And what's the rule with the food processor? Where are our hands not allowed to go?
On the spinning part.
In the spinning part. Our hands are not allowed to go anywhere near here. Okay. So now we're going to blend this up. Label, you ready for the noise?
Yes.
Makes a big dance, doesn't it? We're going to do that again. After about 10 or 20 seconds, we just want to push all of these vegetables down, the onion and the parsley down now. So we're going to push all the vegetables down back into the bowl so that they can get chopped again. Oh, and if you're using whole garlic cloves, you can pop them in here as well to make sure that they get blended up, but we're going to use garlic from a jar, so it's okay. So we don't need to put it into this part now. Okay, so our onion and our parsley have been fully chopped, and now we're going to go back to mix together our mixture. Okay, so what we've got here now is our chopped up onion and parsley, and we've got our meat. So we've got our meat here, it's 750 grams of beef mince, and it's sitting here in a bowl. I'm going to take out the knife part of the food processor. I'm going to set that aside where no children can get to it. And we're going to take our, where is the, here it is, our spatula that we used before to push the vegetables down, and I'm going to empty that in, straight into the meat. That will help combine all of our beautiful herbs and our onion and the rest of our spices and herbs in as well. Okay, so we've got here now the meat and the parsley and onion inside the bowl, and I can feel my eyes tearing up from the onion. Can you feel that in your eyes? Okay, and we're going to pop into that 2 cloves of garlic. So I don't have garlic here. I've got my jar of already minced garlic, and I'm going to pop in about 2 flat teaspoons worth, because that is what we need for about 2 cloves of garlic. Okay. Oh, my eyes are watering a lot. Really clears out the system. So I've got my onion, my parsley, my garlic, and my meat in here, and I'm just going to give that a little bit of a mix to start with, and soon we'll mix it with our hands and get it all ready. Okay, so we're now going to add in some of our dried spices as well, and we're going to pop in a teaspoon of cumin. So we've got here cumin, and we're going to measure out a teaspoon. Can you hold out the teaspoon measuring over here, over the bowl? And we're going to pop in a teaspoon of this, of dried cumin. Here we go. Okay, and we're going to pop that in. And now you can use either allspice or baharat. My family prefers baharat. It's a Middle Eastern blend of spices, and it matches this sort of cuisine of doing arrayas. And we're going to take a teaspoon of that, and you can find that at the Royal Nut Company. It's got the Kosher Australia symbol on the side. And we're going to take a teaspoon of it. You want to pop that inside there, Paul? Thank you very much. We're going to use the same teaspoon. If you want to hold it up again, we can put in, or we can just use this salt, because this salt's sitting here and ready to pour. Okay, we're going to put in a teaspoon of salt, and we're going to do about 1/2 teaspoon's worth of pepper. Okay, you can pop that in. Now in our households, the kids don't like nuts inside the arrayas, so we're going to leave it out. But if you wanted to, you could add in a 1/4 cup of pine nuts into the arrayas. I've done it before also, where I've blended up the pine nuts in with the parsley and onion, and that works as well, to give it a bit of a nutty flavour without the texture of the nuts. But again, it just depends on what goes on and what you like in your household. And we're just going to give that a real good mix, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah. So what we're actually going to do is I'm just going to use 1 glove for this, and I'm just going to really get in and mix all that meat inside with all of that yummy flavouring. To make sure that the salt and the pepper and the herbs and the spices and the onion are all mixed in. How does that look?
Amazing.
Amazing. How does it smell?
Not very good.
Yeah, can you smell the raw onion? It's a bit too strong for you.
I could smell the pepper strong for me.
The pepper's strong for you, but when it cooks, it won't be so strong. So now it's really come together, and the meat has mixed in beautifully with the herbs as well. Okay, so I'm going to take off my gloves, and I'm just going to wash my hands, because I've dealt with the raw meat here, and before I touch my bag of pitta, I don't want to get my hands with meat all over the pitta. So we're just going to wash my hands. Here we are with a fresh pair of gloves, ready to go. So I've got my pitta here, and we've got white pitta and we've got wholemeal pitta, because in our house different kids like the different kinds of pitta. And we're going to take out 3 from each bag. Okay. I'm going to put away that pitta and keep it for another time.
3.
3. Can you count 3? So we're going to have 6 pittas in total.
We've got 1, 2, and a few left. 3.
Okay.
And count down the next one. 1,
2, and
2, and 3.
perfect. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to line those 3 up on my bench together, and again make my hands like a bridge and cut them in half. So I've just got half pitta pockets ready to go, ready to be filled. I'm going to do the same with the white pitta.
It's like a little taco.
That is. It is a bit like a little taco, but this is a different kind of pocket for our meat to go inside. And this time we're going to put raw meat inside, not cooked meat like we would with tacos. And then we're going to pop them onto our tray that we prepared earlier. So what we're going to do here is you can open them up and make them ready for me. And I'm going to pop in, not too much, about 1/4 to 1/3 of a cup of mixture. And I'm just going to flatten the meat out inside. We're going to fill up a little bit more.
I can't really open them.
Okay. And we're going to just flatten out the meat inside like that. Okay, now you can cut them in half at this point, or you can cut them in half later when they're cooked. We like to cut them in half now. And we're going to pop them onto our tray that we've prepared earlier. So we're going to do the same with all the rest of the pizza pockets that we've got. We're going to fill them up. We'll show you one more here. Fill it up.
Is this the next one?
That could be the next one, sure. And we're going to just flatten out with your thumbs and your fingers, just flatten out. And if there's any extra mixture on top, you can just flatten it out like this and pop it back into the bowl. Okay. And then we cut it in half. Now we don't want to overfill the pizza pocket. We just want to have them nicely filled up. Okay. Because if they overfill, then it ends up leaking out everywhere.
Pizza, and then it'll be good.
Yeah, it will be good.
Then when
you're opening them all up for me, so that they're so easy for me to fill, aren't you?
Yeah.
We just want to go all the way to the edges.
Little tiny holes.
These ones are quite big pizzas, actually.
So you could just make a little tiny.
I'm going to cut it in half and pop them on the tray.
So
and we're just going to keep going with that now.
Crunch.
Crunchy, crunchy. We're going to make it crunchy, crunchy very soon. Okay.
Making it so easy. So you put the spoon, if you want to do this tricky, put this spoon in the pita, then close it up so it will have a little hole inside so you could get it all right. And then it will be all done and you could get all the tacos ready. I mean all the pizzas ready so you could do this.
Okay.
Could I do it?
This one, oh, that one's not ready for me yet. Okay. Just going to open that up a little bit more.
So I've done that already?
Yeah.
I have, yeah. I've already stuck it.
Okay.
And there's a little hole here.
Alright, so we've now got one tray full of these beautiful pizza pockets, and we're going to do our next tray as well. So we've got now all of our pizzas filled and ready to go, and they are all now sitting on our tray. Now I was probably a little bit generous with some of these pizzas, and we've been left with a half left, so we can just pop that onto the tray, and we're going to make pizza chips out of that because some of the kids like that pizza plain. Alright, so we'll just label rip that up into a couple of pieces, and we're going to brush that with oil as well. We'll put this bowl that our meat into the sink, and we're going to move everything else away, and now we're going to brush this with oil. So label, let's just show everybody what we've got here, okay? We've got 1/3 of a cup of light olive oil, and we're just popping that into our bowl, and we're going to carefully brush the tops of all of these with some oil. You've got it?
Yeah.
Okay, you can have a go. We're going to brush them with oil, and then I'll turn them over once you're done, and we're going to do the other side as well, okay? So, because that's going to help keep the pizza protected and get it nice and crunchy as well while it's cooking in the oven. Now my oven has been, move on to the next one. My oven has been preheating. It's at 200 degrees, and we're going to pop these into the oven as soon as label is finished oiling both sides. That's great helping.
Thanks, Mom. You've done both sides. And we'll just flip these over.
Amazing. We're going to pop that into our oven, and then we're going to have a look at our vegetable soup. Okay, and my vegetables are pretty soft, but they're not yet soft enough.
Honestly, how?
You want to see? So the vegetables are cooking, but they're not quite yet soft enough.
Yeah,
Okay.
not soft, so we can make this.
They're not quite soft enough to enjoy the soup just yet. Move your hands your way, darling. That's a dangerous place to get your hands. And we're just going to let that, we're just stirring that up. I'm going to put the pot lid back on, and we'll let that go. And we'll show you that when it's all nice and done. Okay, so halfway through cooking, we turned the arrayos over on their pan so that they could get crispy on both sides. And at the same time, we were checking on our vegetable soup, and we saw that the carrots were cooked. Now the carrots in this soup will take the longest time to cook. So when you cut up your carrots, just bear that in mind and keep them nice and thin. And as soon as the carrots were cooked, our whole soup was cooked and ready to go. And it didn't take more than about 40 minutes from start to finish of boiling. So we've got now our soup and our arrayas all ready to go. Which kind of soup do you like better, Label? The smooth or the chunky?
Smooth, but I'd rather chunky.
Smooth and chunky. Label likes it smooth with the pieces of carrot cut up into it as well, don't you?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so, okay. So we have here our smooth soup and we have here our chunky soup that we didn't blend up, and we've got our arrayas. Now it's time to go and wash and enjoy our dinner. See you next time.
Next time.